Hi, so I've never really done this type of video before, but I thought I would because March is CP Awareness Month, and if you don't know, CP is short for cerebral palsy. Some people call it cerebral palsy. Words, okay. And basically what it is it's a neurologic condition you have from birth. It's not something you can get rid of, it's a lifelong thing. And basically the technical side of it is that it results from damage to the cerebral cortex in the brain. Usually this is caused by prematurity or complications at birth. It's not like a genetic thing, it's just something that happens if you have complications sometimes. So this video is probably going to be kind of strange because it's sort of just me rambling and sputtering words. I'm not going to edit it or anything, it's just going to be me talking. So I thought I would kind of tell you my story, my side of having CP, and also I have an identical twin who also has CP. So I thought I would kind of just talk about it and talk about some of the things I've experienced with it. So like I said, it's a neurologic thing. It's a lifelong condition. And there are varying degrees of each. There's multiple kinds and there are varying degrees of severity. So for instance, my sister has what's called spastic quadriplegia dystonia, which basically means, if you break it down, spastic is when the muscles are very tight and tense. There's a lot of muscle tone there. Quadriplegia means it affects all four limbs. And dystonia is, I'm gonna look up the definition here. Dystonia is like a muscle contractions. If you just kind of have random, like, your muscles will kind of spasm. So that's her CP, and the reason hers is more severe is because we were born 3 months early. We're supposed to be born on February 4th, 1995. We were born November 10th, 1994. I'm giving away my age here. And 27 weeks gestation. And she was actually head down in birthing position, lost a lot of amniotic fluid, and suffered a TBI, also known as a traumatic brain injury. So what that is for in her case was a brain bleed, or if you want the technical jargon, it was a paraventricular leukomalacia. I heard that term a lot as a kid. That's the only reason I know it. And so the extent of her disability was more severe than mine. I have what's called spastic diplegia, which again means the tensing or the tone in the muscles, but in my case it only affects my legs. So I have very tight muscle tone in my legs. So some kind of physical things I struggle with, like some kind of exercises, or like I can't kick very high because my muscles are so tight. They're like really resistant rubber bands that you just can't, do too much with. But we've gotten a lot better because of years of physical therapy, occupational therapy, and also a little bit of speech therapy. I'm going to link and some other things I did. I'm gonna link a video I did for a school project that kind of goes into more of my story, and you'll be able to see, like, I had to wear leg braces. My gait is kind of weird. I would turn my feet in and like drag my toes. And I actually had to have surgery because my calf muscles got shortened from walking, the toe walking, and so they had to be re-lengthened. And also I have rods and plates in my leg because the bones were all cattywampus. Anyway, that's a little bit of the physical side of it, but I also wanted to just talk about the stigma that surrounds a lot of disability. It's very unfortunate that this day and age we still have so much stigma and stereotypes when it comes to disability. So the first thing I kind of wanted to talk about was that people sometimes tend to assume that if you exhibit some sort of physical disability that you're also like mentally impaired, which is just not true at all. It's so frustrating to see people come up to, like, I can think of times with my sister. They would see her in the wheelchair, they would see the spastic tension in her muscles, and they would see kind of the different things, and they would assume that, like, oh, she's got some sort of mental deficit, and so they would get really close and talk really loudly and really slowly, like that was gonna help her understand, and mentally she's fine, completely sharp, and also probably a little too observant and a little too CLC. And so she would just be like, what the freak is your problem, you weird person? And even from my side, since mine is a lot more mild, even still, I've experienced that people will kind of talk down to me or use like simplified language because they think I'm not capable of understanding just normal jargon, you know, even though I'm a graduate student becoming a speech language pathologist. They just think that there's not enough going on upstairs. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but anyway. Yes, it's very unfortunate. And the other thing is just people being afraid to ask questions. You know, kids will stare, kids will whisper, kids will want to know what's going on, and parents are just like, shh, don't talk about it. It's like that which must not be named, you know, but discuss it with your children. Familiarize them with different abilities and disabilities, because they're not going to learn if you don't tell them about it. And the other thing is just treating people normally. People don't, if they have a disability, 9 times out of 10, they don't want you to treat them differently or give them special treatment or make exceptions or make, you know, weird modifications. Just treat people like people. It's, you know, most people, you won't really get to know them until you treat them like a human being with human being capabilities, you know. And I just really would love to see people kind of look beyond the ability, or beyond the disability to the ability, rather. And I wrote some articles. I used to write blogs and things, and I still occasionally do. So I'm gonna put some of those links in the description box. And also, I did a column for a series in my old school's newspaper about my experience with disability, and unfortunately it was kind of a negative one because it was an experience where I was kind of bullied by an adult who happened to be like a teacher or guidance counselor or something. And that was very, you know, you never remember the positives, you always remember those negative moments when you're told. And I was just flat out told, like, you can't do it, you can't do this thing, so you shouldn't even try. And as an 8-year-old kid, that really, you know, I can't remember half of the positive things that I've heard, but I can still remember exactly that situation, word for word, the exact scenario. And that's been something like 18 years ago. So, you know, people don't remember the positives so much if you do things like that. So just remember that your impact impacts people far beyond what you will realize. So if you say some Snyder mark in passing, if you are rude to someone, if you treat them like a lesser human because they don't have the same capabilities or same situation as you, it's gonna affect people much more than you might think. So I guess what I'm trying to get to with all of this, stumbling over my words, and I'm in school to be a speech language pathologist. So I'm just so talented. Okay. Anyway, I say all of that to say that everyone is different. Abilities, disabilities, strengths, weaknesses, life situations, it's all different. You don't know what's on the other side of that person you saw for 5 minutes. What you're seeing is just the surface. And you know, if that physical outer shell has some sort of difference, I think a lot of times we tend to just shy away and be like, oh no, I can't get near that person. But like, move past it. Like, learn about these things, talk to people, get used to being around people of all backgrounds and all abilities and disabilities, different things, and just get to know people beyond the label or the disability, because I have cerebral palsy, but I am not cerebral palsy. I am Micaela. I am a person. I am creative, you know, I am a daughter, a sister, I'm all these things, but I am not my disability. I am not my label. And so that's just kind of, just wanted to talk about that for a few minutes in my scrubs after my sessions. So I don't know if anybody's ever actually gonna watch this. I'm gonna put some resources down in the description box about like the definitions, the statistics. I'll link that video I was talking about and some of the blog entries just to kind of give a deeper perspective, because I honestly am a little bit scatterbrained right now, so I don't think I could really describe it and just like and do it justice. But if you've sat through this video, thank you. I hope maybe it can be a little bit of a learning experience. Yeah, and I will say, if it wasn't for my disability, I probably would not be in the field that I'm in, which is to try and help other people have a voice and communicate. And whatever that ability, disability, we are meeting them where they are, and we are giving them the power to advocate, communicate, and live life the best they can. So thank you for watching. If you watched, I don't really expect many people to see this, but something I wanted to talk about. So thank you. Have a good day. Goodbye.